So the LeetCode problem we are going to solve now is called single number. We can see that this one is a LeetCode easy problem and also one of the most liked problems on LeetCode. Basically, we are given a non-empty array called nums. Now, every single element in this array appears twice except for this one element, and we need to find that single element that is only present just once. Now, the important thing is we need to be able to find the solution in linear runtime, so big O and runtime complexity, and using constant extra space, so using big O of 1 extra space. Now let's try to first understand a couple of examples. Suppose we are given an input array like this, then we can see that 1 appears twice and 2 appears only once. So we need to find the single number so we can return 2 as the answer. Same way over here, if there are more entries, still we can see that 2 appears twice, 1 appear twice, 3 appear twice, and 4 appear twice. 7 only appear once. So we need to return 7 as the answer. So basically this is the problem statement. Now let's approach this problem in multiple ways. The brute force approach is going to be quite straightforward. So brute force approach is going to be quite straightforward. We first take a look at the number and then iterate over entire array to find that whether another copy of this number exists or not, and we can keep on repeating the same process over and over. So basically this is an inefficient approach and this would yield big O of n square time complexity in the worst case scenario. Next approach is a slightly simpler approach. We can basically sort the given input array. We can find that then we can just iterate once and find the value that is only repeated just once. So this approach would be better than the brute force, but this would still run in big O of log n time complexity. So this is still not valid for us. Next approach is that we can actually use a hash map to solve this problem, hash map or hash set, and where we can just simply iterate over this given input and try to keep on adding all the entries inside the hash map. We can keep track of the frequency occurrence, and in the end we would find that the frequency for 4 is only 1, but that is also still going to run in big O of n time, but the space complexity is also going to be big O of n, so that is also not acceptable. So that brings us to the last solution we have. And now honestly, you are not expected to come up with this solution unless you are like a complete geek or a complete nerd, but let me talk about the solution. Basically we are going to use something called XOR gate in between any two numbers. Now you know that this is a bit manipulation technique, and basically we have gates like AND gate, OR gate, XOR gate, and things like that. So XOR is a very popular way whenever you are dealing with multiple entries that cancel out each other. And how it works is that this is the truth table for the XOR gate. So let's say that we are given X and Y as two separate numbers. So if both are basically 0, then we simply return 0 as the answer. If both are 1, then also we return 0 as the answer. So we only return the remaining answer if both values are not same. So if 1 is 0 and 1 is 1, so then in that case we basically return the appropriate value. Now this XOR logic applies to all the numbers as well. If we do 4 XOR with 4, then also the answer is going to be 0 because both values are same. There is also a logic that if we do 4, then do an XOR with 5, then do an XOR with 4, then once again these 4 are going to cancel out each other and we are going to end up with a result called 5. And this you can try to understand based on the X or Y truth table for numbers greater than 4. So basically I'm not going to write down the whole solution, but you can trust me on this, that this solution works as expected. And if we have, let's say that 10 different entries, let's say that A, then once again XOR of A, then once again XOR of X, then once again XOR of X, then once again XOR of B plus XOR of B, and then lastly if we have plus XOR of C. In this case all of this are going to cancel out each other and only we are going to be left with value C. And this is exactly what we are going to do in this problem. That suppose you given our nums array, the values are 1 2 3 and then 1 2 3 and then value is 4. So basically we would have a result value that is continuously going to store the values of the XOR to its previous value. And so in the result value, first we are going to do 1 XOR 2, same way then we are going to do that plus XOR 3, and if we continues to do that, eventually the repeated values are going to cancel out each other and we would only be left with the only number that is not repeated. So in this case, in the result, we would find the value 4 as the answer. And basically this is the whole solution. If we see time and space complexity, in this case, the time complexity is going to be big O of n, and the space complexity is going to be big O of 1, because we are not using any additional space apart from using a couple of variables. So this is relatively easy and simple approach to solve this problem. And once again, this is a pretty popular bit manipulation problem. So now let's quickly see the coding solution. So the coding solution is actually the smallest that I have done so far. Basically, we just initialize a variable called result, and then we iterate over every single nums that is currently present inside the nums array, and we simply do XOR operation with the existing result value. So basically all the elements that are duplicates or multiple copies of each other would cancel each other out, and only the single number would have left inside our result variable, so which we can return as the answer. So let's try to run this code. Okay, seems like our solution is working as expected. Let's submit this code. And our code beats 99.983%. So pretty much all the other solutions out there, which is exceptionally fast. It is also really good in terms of time space complexity as well. And once again, the coding solution is present on our GitHub repository. So this is the GitHub repository that I'm talking about. Now you can notice that on this repository, I have solved hundreds of LeetCode problems. These are the most popular and most important LeetCode problems of all time. You would be able to find solutions for each one of them. So all you can do is just simply search for it and you should be able to find it. Now these problems are pretty straightforward, and if you want to see that how popular any particular question is, I have created this Google sheet, where in the Google sheet I have created two sheets. First one is something I created by myself. I went over LeetCode Premium and went that how popular, how liked and how important a question was based on how many times it was asked at different companies, and then I basically sorted them through different topics and different difficulty level, which are color coded. Then we have one other list for neetcode 150, which is also pretty popular list out there, and I have been solving all of these problems as well. So if you are in the process of preparing for yourself for technical interviews, yeah, these two can be a good resources at your disposal, and I hope you find it useful. Links for both of them are presented at the description of this video.